powered by Ecotech.
Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Tommy here from Worldwide Corals, and we're actually at the Worldwide Corals Superstore, and I'm here with Josh, who's the general manager. Now you've probably seen Josh if you're familiar with the channel. He's in a lot of our videos. Josh's creations are pretty incredible. So the tank, we got it delivered in the previous episode. It's empty. We need to get it aquascaped. Josh, take it away.
The way that we have it here in our store, we've got 4 different varieties. We've got the Marco Premium Shelf Rock. We've got the base rock. Somewhere in this pile, there's also foundation, which is nothing more than just the base rock with a flat bottom so that it can sit on a flat surface. And then of course we offer the pedestal mounts, which are really cool because you can stack them together and it's almost an instant rock structure.
So for people who don't know, what exactly is Marco Rock?
Marco Rock is a old mined reef, wow. Basically. It requires a little bit of rinsing to get rid of the dust. And if you don't mind the dust, then you just siphon it off the bottom of the tank when it's cycling. But for the most part, there's really little prep work. So
earlier I showed Josh this photo that I saw on the internet, just kind of giving him an idea of the 2 islands I was looking for. And so you mentioned negative space, positive space. So what exactly is that? Back in the day, everybody used to build this big giant rock wall. And while it was very natural looking in some areas of the world or certain reefs, it's very contrived. There's no space for the fish to swim. There's very little space for the corals to grow. There's a lot of surface area, which is good, you know, in terms of filtration, but it's not open, you know. And nowadays, everybody puts these little tiny rocks in this big giant tank and puts a couple corals and kind of bonsai trims things, right? That's more the direction there is now. We're not going exactly with that, but we're gonna put a little bit of rock and a lot of coral in there. Awesome, I love the sound of it. Cool, so we'll let you work your magic if you wanna talk us through how you're selecting the rock today.
Yeah, I think the most important thing that I could convey to anybody that's trying to build a rock structure is get too many rocks, first of all. Pick a theme. And what do I mean by a theme? You see this rock here? This rock has a single texture for the most part. It's very flat. And then on the edge, it has this layered surface. Not all of them have that in comparison. The same variety of premium shelf rock, but it's got more natural shapes to it, like I said, because it was once a reef. And 2, it has less of that layered texture. So when you try to put a few of these with a few of these, it doesn't really jive. It doesn't seem cohesive. So we try to find that same surface texture for the same groupings. So for example, you're gonna be putting 2 rock structures in your tank, one on the left, one on the right. Even if we did one like this and one like this, it would still look right. But when you try to mix the 2 together, it just doesn't ever seem to work.
Gotcha.
So that's one part. The other part is pick really big and really small, regardless of the size of the tank. You know, if you're gonna be doing a 20-gallon tank, try to find a rock that's almost too big for the tank, because you'd be surprised how well it actually works. It's almost like a one piece, like a centerpiece, you know, but find the rocks that you really like. So that's why we pick these. The natural shapes, the texture, the range of sizes, and I would say this is probably twice as many rocks as we're gonna actually need for your tank. So we'll throw out the ones that we don't like. When we build a base, we try to stay really wide. So in a larger tank, it's easier because we can pick a couple big pieces. You know, maybe 2 of these on the right and 1 on the left, or 1 and 1. However it works out, you want a couple big pieces to really set the structural foundation.
Some of the comments in some of the videos, people mentioned, or they asked, do you put the sand first or do you put the rock first? Which one do you do?
I like to put the sand first and just kind of give it a twist and make it settle down. Because really, we're not talking about a 3 and a 4 inch sand bed. That's kind of an old rumor, myth, whatever you want to call it. Back in the day when it was this thick, and you put rocks on top of it, and you got an engineer goby or a diamond goby or a pistol shrimp that likes to move the sand around, and it settles, your rock structure has no foundation left. But for the most part, I don't think we use a lot of sand anymore anywhere. Some people do, you know, it's a preference, but if you use a lot of sand, make sure it's on the bottom of the tank or close to it.
I would have never been able to make this on my own. It would have been impossible, especially all the stuff you pointed out, like how the rock has different looks on the faces, you know, compared to the other pieces. So this is exactly what I want. It's better than what I wanted. Thank you.
Yeah, hopefully you like it. I mean, we stuck within, we're just under 60 inches. I think the furthest point here to here is 55 inches. So it's a little tight, but once you see that this shapes in this way and the glass is going to be vertical, you'll have enough space to get in and around. Or you can just slide this entire piece in closer and still maintain that same, what are we talking about? Negative space, right? That is what you're looking for. Once this is dark purple in your tank and this is pearly white, that's a nice contrast. And that right there is what I was hoping for. When you're sitting down in your chair and you're looking at it this way, it's got a nice feel to it because there's all open components to it. I don't know. Hopefully you like it.
Awesome, dude, thank you.
Yeah, man.
That's great.
It's fun.
So the challenge is, can I get this home and recreate this in the tank? So we'll find out. So let's head back to the house. I got the rocks home from Worldwide Corals, trying to keep them as close to the original pattern that Josh had. I'm not so confident that I'm going to be able to duplicate his exact aquascape, but we're going to see. Before I could put any rocks in, I had to get the sand in the tank. The sand I'm using is 2 Little Fishies 44-pound bags of dry reef sand. This is size number 3 in case you're interested. Size number 3 is great for a mixed reef for the type of flow that I'm going to have in the tank. So it's not too fine, it's not too large. Because it's dry sand, you're going to want to give it a rinse. So I did a quick rinse with RODI water and started to put the sand in the tank. Now I realize this isn't the fastest way possible, but just kind of working with the tools I had. To my surprise, I only needed 2 boxes of sand, so I had a 3rd box just in case. I'm going to hang on to that in case I need to refill the sand later down the road. Now it's time to get the marker rocks in the tank, and boy did Josh pick out some awesome pieces. Some of them are going to get buried, especially the big flat pieces on the bottom, so you're not really going to see how incredible they are, but you just know they're there and they're the foundation of your aquascape. So I realized I wasn't able to get Josh's exact aquascape in the tank. I wanted a little bit more room between the rock and the glass, so I had to push some of the larger pieces together and move the second island a little bit closer. That second island kind of became more of a full rock structure versus an open one, so I might change that later. Actually, I probably had 3 or 4 looks just before dinner, and then I went back and changed it again. And that's one of the things about aquascaping. Maybe you're never satisfied with it, you keep moving it, you keep messing it. But I have to remember that the cycle is coming up next, and we're gonna have plenty of time to move things around. With that being said, on the next episode, we're gonna plumb the tank and get some water in it finally. Luna Reef is almost done with this incredible custom sump that they're building. There's gonna be an ATO reservoir. I had them make a drip tray because on the Elos tanks, the stand's open to the floor. So I wanted to have kind of a barrier between the sump and the floor. I also received some incredible Italian-made products to go on the tank. We're gonna use the Sicce Syncra SDC multifunctional pump as the heart of the aquarium. There's also a pair of Sicce Extreme SDC power heads that's gonna go inside the tank. For the protein skimmer, Scott over at Aquarium Specialty sent over the Ultra Reef UKS 200. This thing is incredible. It's a beast. The build construction is out of this world, so I can't wait to put that together. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode of my Elos Dream Build. See you then.